Distraction is the silent thief of destiny. It doesn't crash into your life loudly. It sneaks in quietly. One scroll, one excuse, one wasted hour. And before you know it, days turn into years, and your destiny is still waiting on you. Listen to me. Your destiny is too important to be destroyed by distractions. Distraction is one of the most dangerous enemies you will ever face because it does not look like an enemy. It doesn't show up wearing a warning sign that says, "I'm here to destroy your future." No, it shows up looking harmless. It shows up looking fun. It shows up looking comfortable. And before you realize what's happening, it has stolen your time, stolen your energy, and stolen the very destiny you were created for. Distraction is not innocent. It is a thief. And the most dangerous thing about a thief is that it can take from you while you don't even realize you're losing anything. Think about it. Time is the most valuable resource you will ever have. You can get more money, you can meet new people, you can build new opportunities, but you will never get more time. Every moment that slips away to distraction is gone forever. Yet, so many people treat their time like it's disposable. They give it to scrolling, they give it to gossip, they give it to comparing themselves with others, and they wonder why their life is stuck in the same place year after year. The truth is, distraction is stealing what consistency could have created. Let me ask you a question. How many dreams have died not because the dreamer lacked talent, but because they allowed distraction to consume the time that should have been spent in discipline? How many businesses never got started, not because the idea wasn't good, but because distraction convinced the entrepreneur to wait until tomorrow? How many relationships were destroyed, not because love wasn't present, but because distraction made people too busy to prioritize what truly mattered? Destiny doesn't usually die in one big moment. It dies slowly, one distraction at a time. Here's the hook. Your destiny is too valuable to be sold for the cheap price of distraction. Every time you choose distraction, you're making a trade. You're trading what you want most for what feels good right now. You're trading long-term purpose for short-term pleasure. And the scary part is that distraction often feels easier than focus. It feels easier to scroll than to study. It feels easier to watch someone else live their dream than to build your own. But easy choices create a hard life, while hard choices create an easy life. If you're willing to sacrifice your focus for distraction, don't be surprised when your destiny feels out of reach. Distraction is not just stealing your time, it's stealing your energy. Have you ever noticed how drained you feel after wasting hours on things that don't matter? That's because distraction doesn't just consume time, it consumes your passion. It pulls your mind away from what matters, leaving you too tired to pursue your purpose. But the opposite is also true. When you resist distraction and protect your focus, your energy multiplies. You feel stronger, you feel clearer, you feel unstoppable. That's the power of guarding your attention. And let's not forget this. Distraction is not just about what you do, it's about what you miss. While you're distracted, opportunities are passing by. While you're distracted, the people you're called to serve are waiting. While you're distracted, the life you were designed to live is slipping further away. That's why you cannot treat distraction like a small issue. It's not small. It's not harmless. It is the difference between living in purpose and living in regret. So I need you to wake up and see distraction for what it really is. It's not entertainment. It's not relaxation. It's not harmless. It is a thief dressed in disguise coming for your future. And the only way to stop a thief is to refuse to open the door. You cannot allow distraction to rob you anymore. Your time is too valuable. Your calling is too great. Your destiny is too important. Your focus is not just about what you look at. It's about where your life is headed. Whatever you focus on expands, and whatever you ignore withers. If you put your focus on problems, they grow bigger. If you put your focus on possibilities, they grow brighter. That's why the direction of your focus determines the direction of your future. You can't create a life of success while keeping your eyes locked on distractions, doubts, and fear. The world you're living in today is a reflection of the focus you had yesterday, and the world you'll live in tomorrow will be the result of what you focus on today. Here's the truth most people miss. Focus is not automatic, it's intentional. Distraction will chase you, noise will surround you, but focus is a choice you have to make every single day, and that choice shapes your destiny. If you choose to focus on excuses, your future will be filled with limitations. If you choose to focus on solutions, your future will open up with opportunities. If you choose to focus on what you cannot control, you'll feel powerless. But if you choose to focus on what you can control, you'll become unstoppable. Focus is the steering wheel of your life, and wherever you turn it, your future follows. Let me ask you a question. What are you really focusing on right now? Because focus is not what you occasionally look at. Focus is what you consistently give your energy to. Some people say they want success, but their focus is on entertainment. Some say they want wealth, but their focus is on complaining. Some say they want a better future, but their focus is on reliving the pain of the past. Don't miss this. Your focus reveals your priorities, and your priorities reveal your future. Here's the hook. You can't keep feeding distraction with your focus and expect destiny to feed you with success. That's like planting apple seeds and expecting oranges to grow. It doesn't work like that. You can't focus on fear and expect courage to rise. You can't focus on lack and expect abundance to come. You can't focus on failure and expect breakthrough to happen. Whatever gets your focus gets your future, and whatever gets your future will eventually define your life. Focus is powerful because it magnifies what matters. A magnifying glass doesn't create fire on its own, but when it concentrates the power of the sun in one spot, it creates heat strong enough to ignite flames. Your focus works the same way. You already have brilliance, creativity, and God-given potential inside you, but it only becomes powerful when you concentrate it. Scattered effort creates scattered results. Focused effort creates exponential results. And the reason many people never unlock their full potential is not because they're not capable. It's because they never learn to harness the power of focus. Let me make it practical. If you want a stronger future, start focusing your thoughts, your time, and your actions on what builds you instead of what breaks you. Stop giving your focus to people who drain you. Stop giving your focus to things that don't grow you. Stop giving your focus to distractions that entertain you but never elevate you. Every time you choose to focus on what matters, you're casting a vote for the future you desire. Every time you choose to ignore distraction, you're protecting your destiny from sabotage. And remember this, your focus is contagious. The people around you will either be inspired by your focus or influenced by your distraction. When you stay focused on your goals, your family sees it, your children see it, your community sees it. You're not just shaping your own future, you're shaping the standard for others. Your focus is not only your future, it's also the foundation for the futures of those who look up to you. So guard your focus like treasure, because it is. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. And where your energy flows, your destiny grows. Don't waste it on things that don't matter. Aim it at the life you desire. Sharpen it with discipline. Protect it with boundaries. Because the future you're dreaming of is already waiting. But it's only accessible if you focus your way into it. Every single choice you make is not just an action in the moment. It's a deposit into your future. Think about that. Every decision, no matter how small, is either investing in your destiny or withdrawing from it. You are building your tomorrow with the choices you make today. People often underestimate the power of daily decisions. But destiny is not determined in the big dramatic moments. It's written in the small, consistent ones. What you choose to eat, what you choose to read, who you choose to spend time with, what you choose to believe, all of those choices are stacking up like deposits in an account. And one day, the balance of that account will show up as the quality of your life. Here's the hook. You cannot keep making withdrawals through distraction, procrastination, and excuses and expect to see a rich life of purpose and abundance. If you put nothing in the account, don't be surprised when there's nothing to withdraw later. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're making a deposit. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you're making a deposit. Every time you choose faith over fear, you're making a deposit. And those deposits don't disappear. They accumulate interest. They compound. They multiply. One wise choice today has the power to unlock blessings for years to come. But the opposite is also true. Every time you choose laziness, every time you give in to fear, every time you prioritize comfort over calling, you are making a deposit into regret. And regret has a way of charging interest too. It grows bigger the longer you feed it. Some people look at their lives and they don't like the harvest they're seeing, but they forget the harvest is only the echo of the seeds they planted. Your life today is the sum of the deposits you made yesterday. And your life tomorrow will be the reflection of the deposits you are making right now. Now, let me make this real for you. Imagine two people starting the same journey. One chooses to read every day, invest in learning, and surround themselves with mentors. The other chooses to binge, watch, gossip, and spend hours scrolling through distractions. At first, the difference doesn't look big. One is just making little deposits of growth, while the other is making little deposits of waste. But fast forward 5 years. One has a strong foundation, new skills, new opportunities, and a future filled with purpose. The other has nothing to show but regret. Why? Because every choice was a deposit. And the compound effect of those choices created drastically different destinies. Here's another hook. Small choices matter more than you think. People love to say, it's just one more episode. It's just one more day skipping the gym. It's just one more chance wasted. But the truth is nothing is just one more. It's a deposit. And that deposit is shaping who you are becoming. When you start to understand that, you stop making careless choices because you realize you're not just spending moments, you're spending destiny. This is why discipline feels so hard at first, because you're depositing without seeing the return yet. But just like planting a seed, there's always a delay between sowing and reaping. You don't see the harvest instantly, but you can trust that it's growing underground. And if you keep making deposits in the right direction, one day the harvest will come, and it will come bigger than you imagine. That's the beauty of compound blessings. What you deposit in faith today will multiply in the future in ways you can't even predict. So I challenge you. What are you depositing? Are your choices leading you closer to your destiny, or are they draining you into regret? When you look back a year from now, will you be grateful for the choices you made today, or will you be haunted by them? That's why you must live every day with the awareness that every decision counts. Not one is wasted. Not one is neutral. They are all deposits, and they all build into the person you are becoming. Your destiny is not built in a day, but it is built daily. And every time you choose growth, discipline, and focus, you're depositing into a future so powerful that when it arrives, people will think it happened overnight. But you'll know the truth. You'll know it was every single choice, every single deposit, stacking up into the life you were meant to live. Greatness is never the result of scattered attention. You can't build an extraordinary life with divided focus. A person chasing two rabbits catches none. And the truth is, many people are not failing because they lack potential. They're failing because their attention is fractured. They're trying to do everything, go everywhere, please everyone, and end up exhausted with nothing significant to show. Distraction disguises itself as productivity. It convinces you that being busy is the same as being effective. But here's the hook. Business without focus is just movement without progress. It looks like you're going somewhere, but in reality, you're running in circles. If you study the lives of those who achieved greatness, one thing becomes clear: they mastered the art of focus. They chose one vision and poured themselves into it. They didn't dabble, they dedicated. You cannot expect to be exceptional if your attention is spread thin across 100 little things. Divided attention dilutes your potential. It drains your energy and leaves you average at everything instead of excellent at something. And life does not reward average. It rewards mastery. Think about a magnifying glass. When you hold it under the sun, the light is scattered everywhere and nothing happens. But when you focus that same light into one point, it becomes fire. That's what focus does to your life. When you stop scattering your energy across distractions and start aiming it at a clear vision, the power inside you ignites. That fire is what creates greatness. But if your attention remains divided, the light never turns into fire, and your destiny never catches flame. Here's another hook for you. Your breakthrough is not waiting on more opportunities. It's waiting on more focus. People love to say they need more time, more resources, more connections. No, what you really need is more focus. You already have enough inside you to succeed, but until you channel it into one clear direction, you'll keep living below your potential. That's why distractions are so dangerous. They don't just waste your time, they steal your focus. And when they steal your focus, they steal your future. Ask yourself this: how much of your life have you lost because your attention was divided? How many dreams have been delayed because you were multitasking with mediocrity instead of focusing on mastery? How many times did you say yes to things that didn't matter while neglecting the one thing that did? You can't keep scattering your energy and expect to build greatness. Greatness requires depth, not surface level attempts. It requires you to say no to the many so you can say yes to the one. The enemy of destiny is not always failure, it's distraction. Because distraction doesn't feel dangerous, it feels harmless. Scrolling on your phone for hours feels harmless. Saying yes to commitments that don't align with your vision feels harmless. Dabbling in multiple pursuits instead of mastering one feels harmless. But harmless distractions lead to harmful outcomes. Over time, divided attention robs you of mastery, and mastery is the gatekeeper to greatness. When you learn to focus, you create momentum. And momentum is the secret weapon of destiny. A little progress every day compounds into massive results. But only if that progress is in one direction. If you keep switching lanes, you'll never reach the destination. That's why winners are not always the most talented. They're the most focused. They made the decision to lock in, stay consistent, and resist the temptation of divided attention. And in the end, their focused commitment separated them from the crowd. So let me ask you, what is dividing your attention right now? What are the distractions that are stealing your destiny? Because until you identify them and eliminate them, you will never step into the greatness you were designed for. You were not created to be average. You were not called to live scattered. You were called to be great. And greatness demands focus. When you stop living divided and start living directed, you unleash the fire of destiny. And that fire will burn through every obstacle standing in your way. Everybody wants destiny, but not everybody wants the price that comes with it. Destiny is not free. Greatness is not on clearance. The future you dream of will not go on sale. There's a price tag attached, and the question is not whether you want it. The real question is whether you're willing to pay for it. Because destiny always demands payment up front. You can't borrow success. You can't buy it on credit. You must pay in full, in advance, with your discipline, with your focus, with your consistency. And here's the hook. Many people don't fail because destiny was too expensive. They fail because they thought it would be cheap. They wanted the results without the responsibility. They wanted the crown without the cross. They wanted the promise without the process. But life doesn't work that way. The price of destiny is always discipline, sacrifice, and delayed gratification. And if you're not willing to pay it, you will settle for mediocrity while pretending you were meant for greatness. Think about it like this. When you walk into a store and see something valuable, you don't get to negotiate with the cashier about how much you feel like paying. The price is the price. And destiny works the same way. You can't walk up to your purpose and say, can I pay less? Can I get the shortcut version? Can I have the easy plan? No, the price is non-negotiable. If you want to build the life you were born to live, you've got to pay the full cost. And what is that cost? It's the price of getting up earlier when you'd rather stay in bed. It's the price of saying no to distractions when you'd rather be entertained. It's the price of putting in the work today, even when the results won't show up until months or years from now. The price of destiny is sacrifice. And sacrifice always feels expensive in the moment, but cheap compared to the reward that comes later. Here's another hook for you. If you don't pay the price for discipline, you will pay a far higher price for regret. Regret costs more than discipline ever will. The pain of sacrifice lasts for a season, but the pain of regret lasts for a lifetime. So you've got to decide right now, will you pay the price today, or will you live with the regret tomorrow? History is full of people who proved this principle. Every champion, every innovator, every leader you admire paid a price the crowd was unwilling to pay. They stayed up late. They studied longer. They trained harder. They sacrificed more. And because they paid the price, they earned the destiny. Meanwhile, the ones who refused to pay settled for average. And let's be clear, average is always cheaper than greatness, but it always costs you your dream. The truth is destiny is not unfair. Destiny doesn't play favorites. Destiny is honest. It gives to everyone exactly what they're willing to pay for. If you give it laziness, you get mediocrity. If you give it excuses, you get regret. But if you give it discipline, if you give it consistency, if you give it focus, you get destiny. That's the exchange. So let me ask you, what price are you currently refusing to pay? What sacrifice are you avoiding? Because the thing you are resisting might be the very key that unlocks your future. Destiny won't wait for you to feel ready. It won't bargain with you when you're tired. It won't lower the cost because you're uncomfortable. Destiny demands the price, and it demands it now. And the longer you delay, the more expensive the cost becomes, because wasted time never goes on sale. Your future self is depending on the decisions you make today. 10 years from now, you will either thank yourself for paying the price, or you will curse yourself for refusing to. And that is why the most successful people understand this one truth: pay now, play later. Invest today, harvest tomorrow. Sacrifice in the present so you can celebrate in the future. Because destiny demands a price, but the reward is always worth it. What if I told you your win is not just about you? What if I told you that your victory is a lighthouse for somebody else lost at sea? See, when you win, it doesn't just change your life. It changes the lives of the people who are watching you, who are connected to you, who are silently praying that somebody like you would prove it's possible. Your destiny is not just your assignment, it's a demonstration. And when you show the world what is possible, you give permission for others to believe in themselves. Here's the hook. Your family is watching you. Your children are watching you. Your friends, your coworkers, your community, they are all watching to see what you will do with the opportunities, the challenges, and the calling God has placed on your life. And whether you know it or not, your decision to focus, to fight, to win, becomes the evidence that others use to say, if they can do it, I can do it too. That's why mediocrity is so dangerous, not just because it robs you, but because it robs everyone connected to you of the inspiration they were supposed to receive through your victory. Think about it. Every hero you admire, every leader you respect, every success story that fuels your belief, that person didn't just win for themselves. They won for you. They fought battles you'll never see. They endured hardships you'll never experience. And they overcame obstacles you'll never have to face. And because they won, you now have proof that winning is possible. That's the ripple effect of victory. It reaches far beyond the person who achieved it. But here's the challenge. If you quit, if you give up, if you settle, then you don't just rob yourself. You rob everyone who was supposed to be encouraged by your triumph. Somebody out there is waiting for your story to ignite their belief. Somebody is waiting for your testimony to give them the courage to keep fighting. Your win has the power to break generational curses, to rewrite family legacies, to lift entire communities. That's how big your win is. That's how important your fight is. And let me tell you this. People don't remember those who quit. People don't draw inspiration from excuses. People don't get motivated by almost. The world is not waiting for another story of failure. It's waiting for your story of victory. When you win, you don't just achieve success. You establish a blueprint. You create a roadmap that others can follow. You become living proof that discipline works, that faith works, that persistence works. Here's another hook. Your win could be the answer to someone else's prayer. Somebody is crying out right now, asking for a sign, asking for a reason not to give up, asking for hope. And when they see you win, it becomes the very evidence that fuels their faith. Your victory is their validation. That's why your success is not selfish, it's service. It's not arrogance, it's assignment. You're not just winning for yourself. You're winning for everyone who's watching you. Now let's get real. Winning doesn't always feel glamorous. Sometimes it feels like blood, sweat, and tears. Sometimes it feels like nobody's watching, nobody cares, nobody notices. But believe me, somebody is always watching. Somebody is taking notes. Somebody is waiting to see if you'll stand or if you'll fall. And the day you cross the finish line, the day you break through, the day you win, suddenly all of those unseen battles become a public inspiration. The truth is, people don't just need more advice. They need more examples. The world doesn't just need more talkers. It needs more walkers. And that's what your win provides. It's not just words, it's evidence. And evidence changes lives. Evidence silences doubt. Evidence turns I can't into maybe I can, and maybe I can into I will. That's the power of your win. So don't underestimate the assignment of victory. Don't belittle your breakthrough. Don't minimize your success, because your win could be the spark that lights a fire in someone else's soul. And when you focus until you win, you're not just fulfilling your destiny, you're unlocking theirs. That's the divine ripple effect of victory. And that's why you cannot afford to quit. So I'll leave you with this. Don't let distractions destroy your destiny. Protect your focus like your future depends on it, because it does. Choose discipline over excuses. Choose clarity over chaos. Choose purpose over pleasure. And when you do, you will discover that your destiny was never out of reach. It was just waiting on your focus.